Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into this special edition of Canes Insight Live. We've been hitting you with multiple episodes a day here as we get ready for the national championship game, Miami and Indiana, on Monday. And we got a big show right here because we are tracking all of the developments in the quarterback market as the Hurricanes continue to search for theirs next year. And I have waited a long time to say this. I've never had the pleasure of saying it. D, hop in.
Oof, felt good. Felt good getting hopped in. Always wanted to experience that.
Yeah, feels good, doesn't it?
I can see how you like that spot there, but man, I don't know. Interesting time for to be a Canes fan in terms of I would say mixed emotions is too strong a word because the emotions are like jubilation and excitement and like this is what we dream of. But it's interesting doing this show when you're talking about on one hand trying to win your sixth national championship and then talking about something else that people are worried about and freaking out about. And we're kind of, we're thinking about a lot as well. It's it's an interesting situation with the Miami Hurricanes right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, of course, as always, we have to thank the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Absolutely. They will, no mixed emotions there, no mixed feelings. They will take care of your case. 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. Playing time. Appreciate your support. Says we suck again after Monday. I don't think so. I think we'll be defending or I guess not defending, but going for a seventh national championship with a really good roster. But it's more in flux than I thought it might be, Pete. I thought we'd have a little more certainty by now.
Way more in flux, D, and I think we've trusted the process because the last 2 years it's yielded a tremendous end result in the fact that they landed Cam Ward and Carson Beck, and there were better options, I thought, of publicly available and even behind the scenes people who didn't actually become available, but there was so much talk about it that I felt very good about where Miami was headed in terms of finding their quarterback, right? After this weekend, and even you get to the point where it gets to Levitt, and now that it's out there and we've talked about it, right? This Levitt was down on Miami's list of choices, right? So you get to that point, and then you still feel like you have something in place with him, and that doesn't come to fruition. And now you're really scrambling because Ty Simpson has officially put his paperwork in. Could he withdraw? It's a possibility, but that to me is it's very unlikely at this point, D. So that was a big hope that that we were hanging on to potentially here. And it just like that doesn't seem to be happening either. We have a couple other names we can get into here. Devin Dampier from Utah announced today that he's officially coming back. There was some buzz on the Utah boards over the last 24 hours, that he was actually talking to some teams or had some opportunities outside of Utah that potentially could draw him to the portal, but as you see here, has announced that he is returning. So these options are drying up, D.
I am expecting the unexpected. Honestly, it's kind of exciting. Just like not knowing which direction this is going to go. I mean, look, here's what I'll say. When things were looking very strange last year, if I would have told you, or let's say 2 years ago, really the last couple of years, 2 years ago, when we were talking about, hey, is Tagovailoa get a waiver? Poffenbarger highlights were being shared in group chats. If you recall, you were at the Sports Grill spying on Poffenbarger, checking the body language, seeing if he was it.
Listen, I had posted. I was posted up already. I wasn't spying. I was already. I had cemented my ground there. I had staked my flag. Shout out to Tate.
So, we were pretty dire straits there. Never at that point we have thought, hey, Cam Ward's going to be going number 1 overall in the draft in a few months, 12, 13 months. So that was unexpected in that time. If I would have told you last year when we were doing this show and going over like, hey, is Jalen Daniels signed? Remember the Kansas Jalen Daniels?
Yeah.
That Carson Beck would be leading the Miami Hurricanes to the national championship game at the Rock, right? We wouldn't be necessarily seeing that vision. So it's kind of exciting. It's a little bit of spice. Obviously, I don't need that much more stress because we got the biggest game in at least since 2002, but maybe bigger when you think about the gap between that game and this game. So it's not a lot of sleep for Canes Insight this week.
Yeah, and look, D, they made a swing here, but I think you probably had it read right when outside of just the football stuff, I think he really wanted to end his career at Bama. Yeah. Outside of the football in terms of the draft stuff and maybe coming back and like solidifying himself with an offensive line. But I think probably in his mind, D, he's probably thinking, man, and it may not have been the case, but he's probably thinking, well, I had a lot of talent with me at Bama. What's another year of Miami going to do? And I know it's more than talent, but he probably thought he had the best of the best with him at Alabama because he was in there with it. So yeah, this is it. I will say, D, a name that I threw out a few weeks ago when we were talking about we've openly tampered for months, right? This is not a new thing.
At least somebody was doing it.
I'll tell you what, we've openly tampered. We may be even be doing it more desperately than ever because the clock is ticking. So I might get a little desperate here. I might throw names out there that you know what? They may be happy where they are. I don't know. But Noah Fafita, Arizona, a name that he was there with Jed Fish, put up, big numbers early in his career, had a down year last year, good numbers. Again, not a huge QB, but I think someone who could operate the offense, could play in somewhat the style that Coach Dawson is looking for. You give him a good run game, has a bit of mobility as well, but I think can spread the ball around and get the ball to the playmakers and keep your offense on schedule.
Playmaker, had a great year in the Big 12. I know we like the player. As far as has this quarterback search, have I heard that name? I have not. I'd be lying if I said I did. I believe I saw his dad. I'm pulling up the Twitter now. I guess X. I believe his dad was commenting on the Malachi Tony post that I made earlier, which was awesome.
Whoa, breaking news?
Is there breaking news?
Is that what you just, I don't know.
Oh, that's breaking news?
Right now,
I thought that was actual breaking news. Yeah, no, he was commenting on the post, but it wasn't saying, it was more from a coach's perspective, like, hey, this is great what Rick did with Malachi. I think he retweets a lot of general sports stuff on his account. If it's the guy,
I'm excited, man.
Fafita. Yeah, we're just we're grasping for straws here, but he did comment on the post and retweet. So reported first by Canes Insight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, listen, he announced, just so we clarify, after their bowl game, he said they had unfinished business. He was coming back, but that was just like on the field post game. He hasn't made an official return post.
How about this? You know what this feels like, Pete? This feels like old school recruiting.
It does. And it's good, man, because now we kind of know we know who's about to commit. We know, if they're really in the picture for a kid, or they won't even visit these days because they won't even let them get to campus. Before, there were so many free trips and stuff like that. We're left in the dark right now. It's great. I don't know that it's the best process, but
I remember back in the day, I would be calling you, like I'd be leaving work, like I'd be leaving the law office, like tired as hell, like in like work clothes, and calling you up like, hey man, I see some strange emojis under Devontae Phillips' post, like these very complicated theories about why Devontae Phillips.
Now everyone knows when someone follows someone on social media, but that was always the big thing too. Like, who are his recent follows? That was such a telltale sign forever. And then now it's kind of, it doesn't always work that way. Now everyone knows everyone before they're even, in the portal, and they're probably already following them. So
26 says followed by Mario. There you go. He's doing the follows.
There you go.
I don't know if that's a recent follow. Probably. I
mean, but D, if we're just let's continue just being desperate tamperers here.
Desperate. I love it.
John Mateer.
Yep.
we've mentioned that game in the Tampa realm for weeks, months now, almost. Just pretty much right after the playoffs ended. That was for them, not for us, because we're still in the dance. But right away, we pointed to him and said, "Keep your eye on that one." He still hasn't announced. And why do I keep bringing up they haven't announced? Because that normally means they put pen to paper once there's an announcement of return. We have not seen that with Mateer. And again, we're coming down the stretch here. And maybe it's not necessary, but pretty much every quarterback has made an announcement if they're returning or staying. Unless you're Mendoza, who has a game to play and you know what's about to happen after that game for him.
His brother is getting squeezed out of Indiana by Josh Hoover. Right some wrongs. League of their own situation. The younger brother ends up being the star. I'm just saying. You've seen that movie, which I know you haven't. Great movie.
Well, I thought you just meant the phrase. We've seen that movie.
We've seen this movie. There's probably happy endings on this movie before. The thing that's frustrating is Indiana's got their quarterback. Ole Miss has their quarterback. Seems like they have their quarterback with Deuce Knight. You look at a team like Ohio State, they brought back their transfer. Same thing with Mateer. They brought back their transfer. But Oregon has got their quarterback with either Raiola coming in or Dante Moore coming back. Both guys transfer. So they all got their situations buttoned up. I'm just talking about the teams that were playing into January. So
X-Men says Austin Simmons is available. You might know, has he not signed with Missouri? Because there was I don't know if he's actually signed with Missouri or not. D, you and I have been fans of Simmons, his upside and talent for a long time. I still would have taken CJ Bailey. You and I have both been on the CJ Bailey train, but 1000% I take Austin Simmons if he's available. D.
Yeah, so similar to like a Tua. That's the one he's always reminding me of. Just the way
I just haven't brought the name up recently, X, because I thought he was signed to Missouri. I thought I had seen that, so I might be off there. If not, then I'm all in, my friend.
We got a comment from Clutch. He says, if we get no QB, we go with Emory and hope for the best with Nick or Coleman. Let them get experience in the future. I thought we weren't going back, D. We're not going back. We're going forward. He says committed, not signed yet. That could be an interesting one. CJ Bailey would be the one that I always go back to. And again, I'm trying to speak it into existence. There's obviously no momentum for it, or else it would have happened already. But I heard that he was on some like TikTok live or something yesterday saying he hadn't signed his papers. I don't know. We got people in the comments that are sickos like us that are talking about this again. Pete, doesn't this feel like 2013 right now? The stuff we're talking about here. It's just like with people, like instead of on the phone, it's with people around. But I think
normally in this day and age, if there's no rumblings of anything, it means they're scrambling.
How about remember this guy didn't sign his letter of intent?
Which one?
No, I'm saying remember back in the day when like this guy like calling each other like, hey, I heard the rumor this guy didn't sign his LOI.
Right.
We still recruit him. So it feels like to me. Whatever, man. We're trying to win a sixth national championship. But all I could say about this is it felt similar the last two times. It did feel similar. Now, do we want to feel this way instead of secure? I'm not saying we do. In fact, I do not. But those were such spectacular successes that it's hard for me to be negative at the moment. By the way, everything else is happening, including that trophy that's right up there on the top of the screen. But I don't know. I'm more intrigued and entertained by what's happening than truly nervous, like I was last year or the year before that, when it looked like this whole operation, this whole vision of the program getting back was in jeopardy.
Well, and here's the other issue too, D, is that there's another program out there who's in the same situation that we are, who's also not going to be cheap at the quarterback position. Tennessee, especially after this last year where that Nico situation happened. They bring in Joey Aguilar, who wasn't gonna cost them a lot, and they hope could kind of just manage the offense for them. Did what he could, but it wasn't someone that was going to take to the next level. But I'm searching CJ Bailey's name just to search CJ Bailey's name, and Tennessee fans are having the same. This is a Tennessee fan. Same discussions that we are, man.
Big Josh.
Yeah, that's his Big Josh right there. He says CJ Bailey at NC State had 70% completion percentage, threw for 3,100 yards, 28 touchdowns. Plus, he can run like Lamar. I'm not sure about that, but he says more talented than Levitt. I mean, that's it's funny because I'm scouring here. I'm trying to see what's out there, and these are the conversations they're having as well.
Corpus Williams, or William B. Corpus, is saying we're the natty, and people care about where a 21-year-old will commit. He's right. Obviously, I mean, it's so surreal, this whole situation, which is why I'm just kind of like laughing about it and enjoying it instead of actually freaking out, because I mean, we're the national championship. This is a dream come true. But this is kind of like when the game is played on the portal side, meaning the national championship. We could talk about it every single way we want to talk about it. It's going to get played on Monday at night, and it'll be 60 minutes, and we'll see what happens. This deal, it's getting played like right now as we speak in living color. Like, I don't know when this will get resolved. I thought it would be resolved already. So we'll see, man. I think as people, it would make sense. It's just hard to know who signed. Like, there's a new era. That's the other part of it. In the past, you didn't have people signing like this.
Right. Is the new coming out and publicly committing, to your school that you were just at, that you're returning, is that the new like way to drive your price up? I don't know that it is. I feel like when they're doing that, they're signed. I mean, that's what just happened with Damon Williams right now. And essentially, I have a feeling that he probably wanted to go elsewhere, but it would have been a tough situation with the way that it was going to play out publicly.
Brian Lawrence says this podcast is called Looking at Miami's Options. When are you going to actually look at options? We're inventing options. We're
by the way, the podcast is called Latest Developments. Miami's QB search continues.
There it is. We're continuing the search.
What's on the screen is a graphic that says looking at Miami's options, which, my friend, we're trying to pull guys into the portal. Me and DR. So the options are limited at this point, but we're trying.
Cranky Grinch says, newsflash, we don't have any options. We are cooked. Living up to his name. I mean, Peso Pluma is going to be doing a concert here on the beach.
Look,
because the national championship is going to be a home game.
Method Rider says, is Mateer even an option? If they play college football, they have eligibility. They're an option to come play quarterback here. And I say that jokingly, but like, before someone enters the portal, were they an option? Or do they just become an option once they enter the portal? That's what I'll say about that.
Philosophical riddle right there.
Is it wrong?
Not wrong at all. WOT Mike says, pass this on to Kane's Connection for that Jakari NIL deal, $10. I think, honestly, if Jakari moves to receiver, I'd want him back. Wicked Noise with a good question, which is what we're trying to figure out. He says, I really do like CJ, but is it a Damon Williams situation if we get him? Has he signed or has he not? You know what? The Damon Williams situation really screwed us too, because if he would have left Washington is not going to be competing with us for a quarterback. So that would have been the domino that would have pushed one to us. Levitt would have gone to maybe Tennessee was pushing there. Maybe LSU takes him. Maybe LSU takes Damon Williams. They were trying to recruit Damon Williams, obviously, when Levitt was on campus there. Yeah. Right? So then Levitt Levitt goes to us or Tennessee, and then we get one of these other guys. Yeah. Well, I don't even know who. So I'm going to drop a name on you, Pete. I'm going to drop two names on you just for maximum reaction. Okay. But actually, these are real names, real options. So first real option. I don't know if it's real to UM, but it's possible. Hasn't committed or hasn't signed. Is on tour. We've seen him up close. DJ Lagway, your thoughts? I mean, if you asked me in the beginning of the process, I would have said that there was worse options then, right? Like, I would have been down to go get him at that point.
but there's a lot that you have to work around with that one. That's nowhere near a finished product. Love the talent. I just think that goes kind of completely against the way that we've done it the last couple of years, which you have limited options right now. But I don't know that he's plug and play as the dude. I mean, he's gonna have to be if he's the one, but I don't like. That's not what I'm jumping for joy with. Like, I would have preferred Devin Dampier over him. And I was just rewatching Devin Dampier again now. Like, I think we could have made that work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's the best quarterback in Utah.
Lagway has a lot of flaws right now, D.
No,
Lagway has a lot of flaws.
I'm not saying
right
I'm
now.
going there. I'm just
No. I know you're not.
I
trust me. We were Lagway guys, and like, he never did anything to me as the QB of Florida that like rubbed me the wrong way. I think he carried himself. It was a tough time. They were not, I don't think, well coached at all. He had some weapons around him, so it's not like he didn't have any help around him. But I just, I don't know. I'm not jumping for joy with that one.
No,
if you get my drift.
How about this one? And I think this guy might have signed, but with his history, who knows? Nico Iamaleava. I think he signed. It's reported that he signed, but you never know with these guys.
Remember, I was getting heat because I was like half jokingly saying it last year when we at this same time. Remember?
Yep.
Like when it wasn't sure that he was coming back to Tennessee. I mean, they were going through all this stuff, right? So I just thought that we could do worse than that, but I don't know that I would want him now.
I mean, allegedly he signed, but you know how those things are.
Henschel's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, they would blow up the ACC if we took this guy. I think it's a fit in the offense in the city. And he's from Toledo. A lot of people from Ohio moved down here. He's a city guy.
Jordan says if you can't pronounce his last name, he's not leaving the West. Iama Liava. I hope that doesn't jinx things there. But D, we should talk Longstreet, Husan Longstreet, because he's probably the name that and I see Gabby has thrown his name out there as an option that he's a fan of. I'm a fan of the talent. I just don't. Again, for that, I'd rather go with the young guys you've got and bring in a veteran who can stabilize things. That maybe you're not going to cause a huge stink with bringing in necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of Longstreet yesterday. I watched him in high school. I remember him in high school. He's a little smaller than I thought, to be honest with you. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's very talented. He has a good arm, good athlete, big hands. He kind of reminds me of a bigger Coleman, like a bigger Darion Coleman. Like not as small as Coleman, but that kind of guy. Grip it and rip it, great arm. Can run a little bit, but not quite a runner. But he's bigger than Coleman. He's like 6'1", probably 6 foot. I would bring him in and let him compete. If these guys are ready to be the quarterback of Miami, meaning a Luke Nickel, a Darion Coleman, and Emery, I mean, they can compete. Now, the money starts to factor in, or are you bringing in a guy that financially it's hard to have him lose the battle? I can't imagine that's even the case right now, because with the numbers that are being thrown out for these top-tier quarterbacks, you could probably pay a fraction of that to him, and if he doesn't win the job, someone had to beat him out, right? So I'm not against that option. If everyone wants to recruit 5-stars and do homegrown things, it'd be the equivalent. You have all your high school recruits plus a 5-star added on.
The Austin Simmons thing is growing on me, not because I don't believe in the talent, but like I just thought he was signed to Missouri already. But if he's a legit option, D, he was Ole Miss's starter. Was Wally Pipped, and then it's not like a bum beat him out there. We saw what happened there, and I don't know what it would have looked like with him, but I think if he would have been able to work through his stuff, he would have put up really good numbers in that offense with the weapons they had with Lane.
Yeah, I think it'll be good in Missouri, to be honest with you. It just depends if he signed. That's the hard thing about this is like, again, we think back to other years where it worked out and came out in our favor, even though it's similar at this time in the process. You have contracts now, and it's just different. There's Kobe says he signed January 6th per Zenit. So you have lawsuits you have to fight and think about. Big Ten is going to sue anybody.
I'm looking to see if. So here's the thing. I'm looking to see if Missouri has announced anything. Because if the school has announced it, then he's probably enrolled in the school already. But if they said he signed, that could just be the NIL agreement. This is where this, and that doesn't mean he's actually enrolled in the school. This is where it becomes very difficult. And then there may be something in the NIL agreement where it says if he's not enrolled in the school, then the NIL agreement's void. So I don't know. This is where it becomes very difficult. Every school is different. So yeah. I'm looking for something from the official. You understand what I'm saying, right, D?
Yeah.
If the school has tweeted out that he's in, then it's a different story. But I'm not seeing anything from the Missouri account.
Man Kane says Missouri just signed a second quarterback today. Huh.
Yeah, Nick Evers. I'm seeing that right now.
Yeah, from UConn.
But they're saying Land's quarterback to add to the competition behind Austin Simmons. So that's how their websites are wording it. So I don't. Not that
that's a former Florida commit, Nick Evers. Then
I remember
Oklahoma. He's bounced around. Former 4-star. We shall Kane Supreme. If we would have just gotten CJ Bayless, we'd not an issue. I mean, no comment on that. This is one of the main reasons we pushed him.
We've commented on that plenty.
Yeah, everybody knows where we stand on that one. I'm still trying to make that one happen. Dominic Bartucci says, "Oh, brother, we're down bad, boys." Again, on Monday, you set your DVR to record the national championship, but you're not going to see an Alabama helmet, an Ohio State helmet, a Georgia helmet. You will be seeing that orange and green. So life is good. Life is also interesting, and it's right here. Before we even move on, Max makes a great point here, P, which is just horrible news in terms of hoops with Bill Courtney passing away. Yeah. I mean, I heard everything I heard about this guy at 55 years old. I never interacted with him, but people that did on a daily basis are like, first of all, really shaken up by this, but also they say this guy was the best. Just every day was a good dude. Never had a bad day. Was very, very just well respected. Doesn't do it justice. Was beloved in the building. So, obviously a tough bit of news there with Bill Courtney and praying for his family and loved ones. Because I know there's a lot of upset people.
Yeah, man, and his son Bill Jr. is a grad assistant at Miami right now, currently. So so many people within the athletic department have already publicly talked about his impact. He was a huge part of Miami's success with Coach L there at the end, and then you've just talked about as a person, what everyone said about him, his kindness, and all of that. And again, I know it's they play tonight, so I'm sure they'll carry that with them tonight. But rest in peace to Coach Courtney. He was at Temple, so he was still coaching young, man. Like you said, 55. Yeah,
just no days promised. So just grateful for what you have, and just your heart goes out to this guy's family. It's all again, everybody around UM has very strong reaction to this one. It's real. It's not just, wow, that's crazy, this guy passed. He made a big impact on a lot of people.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Very, very sad. Very sad.
So just kind of circling back to a less serious stuff here with the portal. Sweet 3400 says, "Hey fellas, I'm still going Longstreet if they bring anyone in." Brian Lawrence says it's Austin Simmons. He's already there. He's already there with Austin Simmons. 3100 on, by the way, for this.
Well, right. Shows you. Look, if we would have just said breaking down the national championship matchup, we would not have had 3,000 on. But basically, as Brian Lawrence says, yeah, Mizzou has not officially announced him. But the other thing with Longstreet too, we have to consider, and again, beggars can't be choosers, but a guy like that is still going to want to command he's going to still come in and be not going to be cheaper than what you would have gotten him coming out of high school, most likely. But that's still going to be the highest paid guy in your room. And from that aspect, you don't pay guys to be starters, but if you're paying a guy, the expectation is, hey, we think he can do this.
Yeah, but look, if it gets beat out, then you have a cheap starter, and it kind of it works itself out. It's like, remember when the Seahawks signed Matt Flynn?
Yeah.
The big free agent deal, and then Russell Wilson's the third round pick came and beat him out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Clutch says we're going to spend on a QB, whatever. We're going to spend on a QB, give Fletcher and Bell. I guess whatever we're going to spend on the quarterback, give to Fletcher and Bell is what he's saying. Fletcher for sure. Bell, I think, is more of a waiver issue than him wanting to come back. He has to get a waiver, and that's not as straightforward a process as we hoped it would be, or we would hope it'd be as fans. Canes fan 1993 says the Bailey nonsense almost as bad as the Jason Lopez nonsense. Playing high school ball down here does not make you a good player. I mean, he plays in our conference. You pull up his stats; they're very strong for a 19-year-old quarterback. He's been starting since he was a
top
true freshman
15 in the country in QB rating.
Yeah, there's no Dade County category for that. That's the country.
70% completion percentage. I mean, we're not making the stuff up. He's done it. So
what can we say there? Jaden Hewitt says, I said it a few times, I would tamper with Tavian St. Clair. Saying there at least one more year, has 2 left. He's another one of those guys that's like a 5-star, similar to Longstreet.
Have we discounted that St. Clair can't beat out Sand next year, D?
And Sand would leave? I mean, no.
Well, I'm not saying Sand's going to leave now, but I'm just saying like a completely different topic. But after seeing what happened with Sand and knowing that he's limited, his physical tools are a bit limited. Does St. Clair give you more upside? Do they work him into the mix a little bit? I don't know.
I think it's more likely that he jumps in the portal, but I don't know what he brings. I mean, I haven't seen him throw a pass. We got to watch some St. Clair highlights. I've already watched some St. Clair highlights against Elon or whoever they were playing, and they're out of conference. JVP October, appreciate your support. Grateful to this community, and tomorrow chins up. Yeah, grateful for all your support in the chat every single day. What else we got here?
Aaron Nolan's name comes up a lot, D, because Miami was on him and he was a high-profile name, but he's been at 2 schools now, and it doesn't seem like there's been much traction either way.
Yeah, I don't see it there.
So a guy like him needs to go play somewhere.
He's going to Memphis, it seems like. Adam says, run the ball on offense, dominate on defense. You can beat anyone. Whoever our quarterback will be in a good situation around him. Not worried. Yeah, that's true. But we got to, we're trying to win a championship too now. So I think that's part of it is you have to calibrate what we're doing to like, hey, it's not about not being terrible. It's about trying to win a 7th national championship.
Or keep yourself in that realistic discussion, D.
Yeah.
Because we can say what it is now because we are here, but if you drop that first game, for example, against A&M, you still see this year's major progress, right? And you still need to, whether you're in the championship or not, you need to keep yourself in the discussion to be a playoff team, to be and not only be a playoff team, but elevate from there. So
it's an exciting time, man. It's an interesting time, obviously, with the championship, but just this process, I really don't know what's going to happen. People think like we have like a secret, like we're going to get off this show and be like, hey, it's XYZ, right? That's not what it is, man. And I think there's a lot of unpredictability in this process, just like there was last year, just like there was the year before that. Those came your way. Hopefully this one does as well. But it's honestly kind of exciting to me. Now,
hey, man, go ahead.
You would never get this reference. Independence Day, Pete. You ever see Independence Day when you were a kid? The Alien movie? Mm-mm. So the aliens come in, and Area 31 had prior aliens that had landed and crash landed and died. So Area 31 had the aliens there, the previous aliens. So they've been studying these guys forever secretly. And then when the aliens came, they went to them like, hey, what's going on with these guys? And then these scientists who hadn't been in the sun in like 2 years were like, man, ever since these aliens came, it's been real exciting around here. And of course, the president flips out because half the world's gotten blown up. He's like, exciting. This is not exciting. So every time I say I'm excited about something like this, that's what I think about because it's fun to cover. We got 3,500 on with these crazy speculations, but serious business too. Season might be at the brink. You King God says Area 51, not 31. Yeah, Area 31 I think might be a club. There might be a club on the 31st floor. Shout out to Area 31. Beach Train says D's lost it.
Talking aliens now, man. Shoot. What about Mendoza's got a year of eligibility after this, right?
That's right. Complete the prophecy, man. Him and Jeremiah.
Yeah, him and Jeremiah.
I think we got to get Mendoza and Jeremiah just to bring it back home. But you know what, though? We're gonna win, so they're not gonna have anything to like bring back home. So it'll already be home.
Fafita, man. I like Fafita. Do you like Fafita? Because we didn't really talk about it. Do you like Fafita as a player? Like, let's say he hopped in the portal tomorrow. Like, what do you think about the player?
Like De'Ara King, kind of. You know, coach's son, productive. He's played a lot. That would be the name that would pop into me. And that's a question. I mean, I know De'Ara King ran more for sure. But if you were to say, all right, De'Ara King behind this offensive line with this running game, you think it could work? Shannon Dawson at offensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think it could work. I mean, I think you're going to have to do some different things because he's smaller. You know, move him a little bit more. But, dude, I'll take – there's a lot of people I would take right now. My standards have dropped. It's late in the night, my friend. It's late in the night, my friend.
You know, but again, we said that the last few times, and then the two best quarterbacks that we've had in 23 years walked through the door. I'm just saying, the best two back-to-back in the last your whole life, as far as being.
Just trying to think though, D. Like, I'm trying to legitimately. That's why I thought about Mendoza. I'm like, who are the guys who are actually like quarterbacks, right? Because for a while you wouldn't have thought about Beck as like a legit option. And that's why I was thinking, like, okay. Who has eligibility left? What is who's the rabbit that you could pull out of the hat? Because Beck in the back of our mind, we knew that there was still like some sort of. That's why Mateer is the only thing I could think close to it, where it's like he hasn't done anything, he hasn't announced anything, he's just still there at his school. But we wanted him last year, so
Pete, this is Area 31. This is why I was confused. Check that club out. Look at that nice little lounge downtown Miami, 16th floor of the Epic Hotel.
You know what?
You've been there?
My sister got married at the hotel, and we had something there at that place, so I'm familiar.
There you go. Shout out to Area 31. No aliens there. No aliens at Area 31, but still stuck in my brain. Man, people are probably so mad listening to this. Try like I've seen those other names in this chat. Let's see what we got here.
Mensa. That's another Tamper name that we haven't really discussed. But I mean, listen, nothing would excite Mario more than to take Manny Diaz's lunch money. It would that thought alone would excite Mario.
That would be interesting. He's definitely up to par. I mean, he had a great year. I don't know. He might be another one that re-signed. Oh, hey, Pete, there's one. Let's rock with that one. What do you think?
This is a good one. 26. 26. You don't hear anything about Drew Aller these days, man.
So for those listening on audio, what 26 just proposed, medical red shirt for Drew Aller. He comes back. I don't think he's subject to the portal requirement, or is he? Because it's a grad transfer. Maybe he would be. He goes back to Miami. Try to right some wrongs. Completed passes to wide receivers in the playoffs.
Dude, yeah, that'd be
He'll complete a pass to Malachi Tony. Appreciate you, Burst. Don't smash that like button. I got this one here for you, Pete, from our boy Saint Eddie. Appreciate your support. So starting to think Pete's entire media diet growing up was football and LimeWire MP3s. Explains the missed movie refs. Were you too young for LimeWire?
No, I use LimeWire. That was when I was like junior high school.
Okay, so still around
late middle school, junior high school. Yeah, high school. Yeah.
What do you have on your LimeWire back in
all the Lil Wayne mixtapes, the droughts? That was because that's how you had to get those. You couldn't get them on Apple, on what was it, iTunes? It wasn't Apple Music, it was iTunes. But yeah, you could throw a lot of hoop mixtapes in my media diet. You know, a lot of random NBA highlights, like J.R. Smith compilations.
I forget that you were already working for us at the time as a junior, so you're already pretty much in the game. You're still on Furman's.
I've been in the mix since I was 15 years old, man. 16 years old.
A lot of Drew Allen.
And look at this. We got the go right here. Marty Marr says I was the LimeWire god.
Talk about someone who knows the music game right there. Marty Marr. Appreciate you.
This is the man of the intro.
That's it. Follow him on. Post your socials in the chat, Marty. Make sure we get you out there. Saying Kane's Insight be putting in work. I don't know what kind of work we're putting in right now. But
this is what I always tell you, man. People want to hang out. They want to talk to QB search.
they want to drink right now. But it's amazing because, like, again, we got so many interviews lined up for those of you who are just tuning in, like and subscribe. I mean, we got some of the, I won't announce them until they're done, but some heavy media hitters coming up. Some real big names, some real cool things, along with some of your old favorites that we'll be talking to.
A lot of bicep curls, a lot of bicep curls,
a lot of deadlifts, getting ready for the national championship game. So that's covered. That's going to be good. And that's going to be a joyful process, even though it's extremely stressful, just because you're so happy to have this opportunity to win the 6th national championship. This one, there it is. Arena bringing it back. Says, last ride, boys. Let's win the damn thing. Yeah, Carson Beck still has another game. We still have a quarterback. We have other quarterbacks. We still have a Carson Beck starting quarterback for this game. You can't say this is the Jerry Springer episode of Kane's Insight. No fights here. Pete, did you used to watch Jerry Springer? Was that on your radar, or you're too young for that? That was late 90s in the primes.
Yeah, I was born in 94, but so I don't know. That might be a little.
That was the diet, man. You watch Jerry Springer when you get home. If you're sick from school, you watch Price is Right. You got Jerry Springer on, and you got Monday Night Raw. Some kind of Attitude Era at night. That's a true 90s experience. It's amazing for like a 10, 11-year-old kid watching that, man. A lot of salacious content.
Comment here from Nick Watson asking us about Luke Nickel, if we think he can be the guy.
He needs more reps with the better players, I would say, to know. You gotta see him. He's played a lot with like walk-ons and stuff, which is hard to evaluate because his defensive line that he's going against is way better than his offensive line. His receivers aren't always necessarily playing at the same speed. He's a pretty aggressive player. He's pushing the ball downfield. Nickel's not a dick and dunk passer, but you don't really know how much he can get away with when he's not playing with the 1s, 2s. He's done it before, but maybe not to that extent. Yeah, Kevin Dennis, Full House, and Baywatch. Yeah, Baywatch for sure. That was always good.
I like this comment right here. It's actually something we brought up last week, a couple of weeks ago maybe. Wicked Noise says CJ Carr was mentioned, may have legs if Marcus Freeman reconsiders these new NFL jobs. You saw Mike Tomlin just got fired, or I don't know what they're phrasing it, but he's gone. He said no to the Giants, but some good looking options out there, Coach Freeman. Let me tell you. And let me take this opportunity again to say I said it yesterday. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've seen. He was congratulating his team for quitting. He congratulated them for making the tough decision. Oh, what are you doing, Marcus? I'm generally, I've been a fan of yours, but that was soft, man. That really did not help the narrative around you guys and around the quitting thing. Like, lost my respect in a big way there. Marcus Freeman, clown alert.
Congratulated his team for quitting. Could not have
very proud of them for quitting. What are we what is that? That's soft. That's soft. I mean, listen, I'm not saying you have to go in there and tell the kids they're wrong and you got the cameras rolling, but you know, let's be a little bit more realistic here. You're the head football coach of Notre Dame. Your team just laid down like little girls after you after you get the bad news, right? And you're just going to pat them on the back for it. At least just keep your mouth shut and say, all right, if that's what you guys want to do, that's what you guys want to do. I'm not the leader of that team though, so they'll have to live with it. Marcus Freeman, I'm excited to expose that garbage once again in South Bend if he's coaching still. I liked him, man, but that was soft.
And why did they release it?
That's the other thing about it. Can you imagine that gets out? Can you imagine Mario? Oh boy. Ooh, Mario would have strangled somebody. And it might have been the Toronto Terrier himself. we may have lost we might have lost a dear friend that day if something like that, even remotely close to that soft stuff, came out.
Toronto Terrier, man, he's running circles around whoever's up in Notre Dame, man. I mean, I don't know what's worse to put out from that channel. That's a
bad look for the culture of the program, man. I'm sorry.
You know, you saved me from an off-color joke that I would have regretted later. But Notre Dame has had some bad stuff in their history. This ranks pretty high up there. I'm very cool. If I says this is my favorite Canes podcast. Appreciate you. Let's see what's going on here.
We can go from tampering to going at other teams' coaches. What can I say?
Oh, well, we'll do that. We'll talk about that in a second here. But Ostas Mikey says, boys, how are we not trying to flip CJ Bailey so we got JJ? Think about a flip. If not, what about DJ with the QB whisperer? We talked about Lagway. I think, look, it's not the worst option I've heard. It's not something I'd want to necessarily be pushing for it, but it's not the worst option. I think CJ Bailey, if he hasn't signed, that's a no-brainer, but we can only say it so many times, right? It's just banging our heads to the wall. The other coach thing, can you imagine if this was any year besides this year, where now we've proven Mario's the guy? Not the team has proven he's the guy to take us to back to where we are currently. How many Mike Tomlin to threads would you have seen on Canes Insider in the comments? Like, hey, we think Mike Tomlin want to come down to They're making $15 million a year, whatever he was making in the pros. You think he'd want to come down to Coral Gables, bring back the U? Can you imagine how many of those
he could be a great recruiter? That's what we'd be saying. He just have to show him his Super Bowl rings. That's what we'd be saying. The old recruiting pitch of just bring the Super Bowl rings out on the table.
It would happen.
We were sad, man.
Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. Someone's saying I would still take Mike Tomlin. I love Mike Tomlin, man. The guy's never had a losing season.
No, he's amazing. We're not clowning him. It's just that's how ridiculous it is. I mean, I wonder what he does though, realistically.
What we're doing right now is like the Pittsburgh Steelers looking at their quarterback roster every single year.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, do you think we can get
I hope the Dolphins get him. I hope the Dolphins get him. Him or Harbaugh. I mean, I'm not really a Dolphins fan like that, but I know Big C would be happy if they get Harbaugh or Tomlin.
I'd be ecstatic, man. I mean, Don Shula's the best coach ever. I'd say Tomlin right now, at least in the modern era, is number 2. You never had a losing season. To me, you're the best coach when you have no quarterback. Like, you gave him Ben Roethlisberger. They won every year. They won a Super Bowl. They went to another one. Like, it's not like he can't win with a quarterback, but it's hard to win with Mason Rudolph. And he still has winning seasons with Mason Rudolph and whatever bum that he has to deal with. Aaron Rodgers yesterday could barely move. So I love Mike Tomlin. I'll take on the Dolphins in a heartbeat. I know they said he was too hip hop last time or whatever. Remember that leak story that Ross or someone thought he was too hip hop? The hell's he talking about, man? Meanwhile, he's hanging out with like every kind of celebrity, like Flo Rida, Black Eyed Peas, whatever the hell he's hanging out with in his box. He's talking about too hip hop. Come on, Ross. Give me a break. Stupidity. Anyways, I'll tell you who probably is hip hop. I know he's got a good playlist right here, and that is OrchidMan, ORCHID Man, South Florida's landscape artisans. Palm Beach all the way down to the Florida Keys, 786-271-0332. All the dirty work you don't want to think about, maintenance, irrigation, hurricane prep, tree trimming, you name it, they'll take care of it. OrchidMan Florida, ORCHIDManFlorida.com. They'll take care of your landscape, residential, commercial, and they will make you not to think about it. It will be taken care of with the point guard, OrchidMan Florida. Stephen Rodriguez says, it wasn't Ross, it was Wayne Huizenga. Really? Maybe, yeah. Well, that was a while ago. Great job.
Green Tree K9 says, what about Malik Washington from Maryland? Him, JKS. I mean, we can keep this tampering list going, but those guys, I just feel like we talked about those guys early. Maybe you circle back on someone like that.
Yeah, I love this one. Real Fiend. First of all, great. I never identify with a comment more. Real Fiend 9186, which means he's a real fiend, saying, "What about Grunkenmeyer? He is available and looks solid." You know, I am also a real fiend. So I was watching Grunkenmeyer in that bowl game, texting my boys like, "Hey, Grunkenmeyer, this guy's going to be a find for somebody. He's got a live arm, stands in the pocket." But yeah, you know you're a real fiend when Grunkenmeyer is on your list. Ethan Grunkenmeyer from Penn State. I'm a fan. I like him, to be honest with you. I actually think he's good. I thought he was going to Virginia Tech, and I don't know if that's official yet. With Bo Pribula going to Virginia, I thought Grunkenmeyer would go to Virginia Tech, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Cane's asking about Colin Hurley. I just saw that he committed to Michigan. Right. So Michigan's stockpiling QBs, man. They brought in the kid from Colorado State as well, Braden, Fowler, Nicolosi. We saw them bring in Jake Garcia as like a third stringer last year too. So they are taking an approach of, let's just bring all our backup QBs are going to be guys who have been around for a couple years somewhere else. And it's an interesting approach. They're kind of abandoning. They put all their high school QB money into Underwood, and now they're just getting the rest with guys who have been around the block.
Pete, I can tell you the Lagway discussion on CanesInsight.com, 7.8 million posts and counting. It's really picking up. Lagway is the name being discussed here, but no one really knows anything. I mean,
the Lagway thing has been weird because there was initial reports that he committed to Baylor. Okay. And I know Canes fans aren't always fans of this guy, but guy that we follow on Twitter, Corey, formerly known as Uncle Silk, he has ties with the Lagway family, and he came out right away and said that's not a done deal yet. He said he hasn't signed. He pretty much even said he didn't. He said at the time he didn't commit when the big 247 on 3 reports were coming out. Then the next day, they said Ole Miss was going to get a visit. The whole Deuce Knight thing happens. But it does not seem like Lagway has locked in 100% with Baylor. Maybe holding his spot there and seeing what else materializes.
You know, Pete, I don't know, man. Lagway getting healthy the whole offseason. Good offensive line.
And he must have gotten a text or something because he just flipped everything in the middle of the show, guys.
Pete, can you imagine that backfield if you got DJ Lagway, 250 pounds or whatever he weighs?
Generational talent.
Leaned up a little bit. He can go to the same yoga and swimming class as Akeem Messidor, but still powerful and tall. Handing off to Mark Fletcher, going behind Jackson Canwell. I mean, we're talking about some big dudes now.
Top tier Miami says Lagway family reached out to Miami when he hit the portal. I think they definitely would have been interested. I don't think Miami showed interest is the thing there. You know, he was not really, I heard very early on, they didn't really have interest. The standards changed like we've talked about. I would have thought that they would have gotten him on campus if they had, you know, to this point, if they had interest, but this portal window's still open, man.
Oh,
that would be an awesome off seson.
Oh man, that'd be
the greatest off season for us ever, man.
I can't wait for the Josh Allen comps. Incredible. You know, what did Josh Allen look like?
You don't have to wait. You'll start throwing them around pretty early.
Listen, if Josh Allen was forced at that stage of his development, injured, to play in the SEC with a bad offensive line, bad coach, no coordinator, would he have done well? I don't know. El Rico saying, D, who are you trying to convince, us or yourself on Lagway? I'm starting to convince myself a little bit, Pete, because look, he's got some dirt on him. He's had adversity. He's got something to prove. Whole offseason to get lean, to get healthy. His whole physical will be different. And then he's got a great running game, great offensive line, receivers, guys chucking the ball down the field, that got the Carson Beck chip on his shoulder. Character, I heard, is outstanding. Clean as a whistle. I don't know, man. I don't know, Pete. I think we might have found our guy. Let's see his stats. Let's pull up the stats here, Pete.
I'm not a Lagway hater. I just have to really sit down and think about this one before I commit to it.
So a career 28 to 23 touchdown interception ratio. So it's on the positive side. It's more TDs than INTs. True or not true?
True. That is how numbers and statistics work. One is greater than the other.
He's on the positive side of that one. He doesn't have a negative touchdown interception ratio. 71 rushes. He can run the ball. Although 1.9 yards a carry. We got to tighten that up. He'll have a better offensive line. Get that up. And get big drop in yards per attempt from 10 to 6.7. We're getting back to that 10 mark, just chucking the ball down the field.
You know what I'm just laughing at? I'm laughing at how all off season last year there were these random reports of how he wasn't healthy, and we were adding fuel to the fire. Oh yeah, look guys, it doesn't look like he's healthy.
He wasn't.
Look
we were
like
right.
100%. Well, I'm just thinking about if those same reports this off season come out, we're gonna be throwing water on that.
Listen, what I'm gonna say,
we're gonna be extinguishing it.
Akeem Messidor was probably overweight, not because of bad habits, but because we made him gain weight. He was injured. He got into swimming. He got into yoga. And now the guy is one of the best players in the country. So who's to say that Lagway doesn't get the routine that Messidor used to slim down, get healthier, get more durable, get more pliable? And I mean, we're talking about Josh Allen in college.
Is that a good quarterback? Was Josh Allen a good quarterback in college? I don't think he was, right?
Look, here we go. Top tier Miami. He looks a lot better right now. He already dropped 10 to 15. Thank you, top tier Miami. Drop 10 to 15, Pete. Someone's getting a steal here with this guy. Can you imagine, Pete, with Malachi Toney? He can't overthrow Malachi Toney. But he's got the best arm in the country. He just lets it rip. Let Mally run under it. Vandrevius Jacobs just run under this thing. It'd be hard to deal with, man.
I like it if it works out that way. I mean, I guess I don't have any choice but to like it.
Yeah, so we'll see. You know, Pete, don't get out. I'm gonna sign off just to get my phone to see if we have the portal quarterback in my messages. So carry us for a minute while I grab my phone.
Go for it.
Oh, hopped you
out.
Oh,
he removed me. All right. So as we wait for D to get back here, I'm seeing comments about Brew You from Notre Dame, or from Pitt, committed to Notre Dame, the defensive tackle. From what I understand, that was not a guy Miami was huge on. Jarquez Carter was ahead of him for sure on their wish list. The consensus kind of was he was just a tad bit small for what Miami was looking for. Productive player this year for Pitt. You know, good get for Notre Dame, but we saw last year Miami was too big for Notre Dame up front. Not sure that's the type of player that moves them in the direction to beat a Miami. So good player, but again, Jarquez Carter was higher on Miami's list there. I think, as we've talked about defensive line-wise, Damon Wilson at defensive end, I believe becomes a must-get here for Miami at this stage of the portal, and you add him in there with Jarquez Carter, then I think it'd be a great duo. Brew You, the D tackle from Pitt, committed to Notre Dame, but from what I said, I thought, from what I heard, the size was a bit of a concern for Miami there.
Yeah, I'm good with Carter and going young there instead of overpaying for an undersized but good player. We didn't. That's what we would have done in the past. But listen to this. I got a text, Pete. You ready?
Ready.
It's from Dr. Money. Mario had high praise for Alberto Mendoza at his press conference yesterday. Eye emoji. It's the only text I got related to this quarterback situation. Didn't he say he was going to be better than his brother?
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I like the player. I think he could be a good player in this conference.
So follow me here. If he said in the press conference that Mendoza Albert was better than his brother won the Heisman as the #1 pick. So shouldn't we try to get this guy?
I would do it. I would go for it, but it's still a different strategy than what we followed the last couple of years, which obviously it looks like it might be going in that sort of direction. So
yeah, well, there it is. Yeah, see, Hassan said it. Mario said he's better than his brother. So, I mean, what, you pick 0? Alan Gomez, always appreciates you, my friend. It says, happy to catch you guys live. Appreciate all you do, and I appreciate you as well. So, yeah, some food for thought, Pete. We got to go into the lab, get this thing rolling, figure out. We got to look at some. I got to watch some Velkamp highlights. What's the guy's name?
Caden Velkamp.
Velkamp. How do you think, Velkamp or Lagway? They're both big boys.
Lagway.
You got Lagway over Velkamp. Jordan saying tamper and pay for the lawyers. Be interesting.
Sorry, I'm getting the dog is barking a bit here, so I'm having a mute.
Shout out to Honey. She had a beautiful Canes outfit the other day. How's Honey's arm?
She's got some legs. can run the read option. I don't know about passing.
If Mendoza goes to Miami, you think Mario is going to be accused of tampering in that press conference?
Nah, with that one, it'll be too much. There's too many ties there.
Flying Time says, this is ruining what should be a great week in our history. Man, it's not ruining anything, man. We're loving life. This is incredible. This is what we dream about. But yeah, some interesting episodes. And people are wondering, like, man, these guys is out of the loop. I'm pretty sure I'm more in the loop, and Pete's more in the loop on this than pretty much anybody. And that's why we're just kind of embracing the chaos of it and the unpredictability. That's the portal. So
Football Recruits TV says we're punch drunk. That's probably correct.
Just enjoying life, brother. Enjoying life. Miami plays on Monday. The Miami Hurricanes play football on Monday, January 19th at home. Hard to get me off track with that one. I mean, we literally, just before we get out of here, Pete, we literally went through this exact same thing, maybe more off camera than on camera. Although last year was both. The last 2 years, we went through this exact thing. And if it didn't go Miami's way, you're talking about the program never being back, being totally irrelevant, like just falling behind, right? So I think we're in a much better position this year, but got to land the plane, man. They got to land the plane.
Sorry, been having to stay quiet over here.
Hey, shout out to Honey. Honey knows who the quarterback is. She's trying to give you the scoop.
Yeah, if only.
All right, guys, like and subscribe to the show. 4,800 on. We'll be doing multiple shows throughout the week, 2 a day, until we get this quarterback, until we get this 6 natty, man. So like and subscribe. Go Canes.
Go Canes.